How's it going, everyone? King Vector 11 with a list of cars that I believe Rockstar Games actually needs to add in GTA Online. Now, before I get into those vehicles, I have barely done, let's say, top 5s or like 5 of something here and there, so these aren't my usual typical types of uploads I would do. So just, be patient and just stay around, okay? These are 5 cars that I've been thinking about for the past while playing GTA Online, while not playing GTA Online. Even in my sleep, I've been thinking about what cars Rockstar Games needs to add in GTA Online, like a dream I had last night. So, if you guys enjoy these videos, please do leave a like, subscribe, stay tuned for more, and give me suggestions at the end that I will even ask for. For any other vehicles you guys think Rockstar Games really needs to add in GTA Online, without further ado, let's get into it. So the first car that came to mind that Rockstar Games definitely needs to add in the game, of course it doesn't exist yet, but IRL is called the Ford Mustang GT, of course the 2005 version. And I know guys, we already have something like that as the Vapid Dominator, but just wait. Just listen to this. How many spoilers can you add on the current Vapid Dominator? How many Dominators exist that have a similar model to the Vapid Dominator itself? And how much customization can you do to the Dominator to make it, outstanding, look cool, so on and so forth? The only livery that exists is the Force livery, which is the secondary color. And that itself could be disappointing at times. So here's an image of what I believe Rockstar Games really needs to add in the GTA Online. An actual Dominator that's similar to the Vapid Dominator that exists. Of course, that car has its own resemblance, its own feature that it can be used to be customized into a nightmare apocalyptic arena war vehicle. Which, okay, great, I guess it's fine, but I don't want to drive around standing out to the crowd showing that I just want to start a war or something like that with guns on my hoods or something. Anyways, so with like certain customizations that Rockstar hadn't done for the basic Vapid Dominator, I'm thinking whether you can, of course, now you are actually able to like drive it to Arena War and customize it to an apocalyptic vehicle with weapons and spikes and so on and so forth. Okay, great, that's great. But what if you're able to drive it into Benny's workshop? Or you can drive it to your office and apply the Benny's upgrade to it, and suddenly turn it into a Vapid Dominator custom. Of course, there are a few Dominators that exist, and I am personally a fan of the Mustang class. It's just its own class, because I just love Mustang. Something that can give you more modifications to a spoiler. Something that can give you more modifications to the side panels that are next to the doors. Something that can give you a modification to the side skirts. Something that can give you a modification to the hood, whether if you want a bug catcher, or a speed inclined hood, or more fenders, or anything that just looks cool for a car like this. Great. Anything that can customize the front bumper, the rear bumper. Anything that can customize the roof scoop if you wanted to. Anything that can customize even as much as giving a few more liveries to this car. That would make it stand out so much that I bet you anything people would spend $35,000 on a basic Mustang just to spend almost $1 million to upgrade it, to give it more statistics, to hear the engine roar really, really hard. Give it a unique roar. Nothing like the Gauntlet Hellfire or, the Bravado Gauntlet, or, just give it its own similar balance between the Dominator itself and the Shafter V12. Just combine the sounds of those engines together, and that's what you want to get. Something that roars. This car needs, personally, I would not mind driving this thing around, okay? Give it a few liveries. Even give it the livery, anything similar, but nothing closely to the livery from Razor's Mustang from Need for Speed Most Wanted. Of course, this whole list may majorly reflect off of Need for Speed Most Wanted, and it's because I'm personally trying to make a car show in my own office resembling vehicles from Need for Speed Most Wanted. And this is just one car that stands out to me that I just want. I just want it. Just please. Alright, the next car that I personally want added in GT Online is a Ford GT. Now, similar to the Vapid Dominator, it quote-unquote already exists. However, what can you do with the Vapid Bullet in both GTA 5 and GT Online? What can you actually do? You can give it performance upgrades, okay, like every vehicle, that's normal, great. You can change the window tint, you can change the rims and the rim paint when it's customized, you can even give the, bulletproof tires, whatnot, okay. You could only change the primary, even secondary color, which acts as its own unique livery, similar kind of like the Vapid Dominator. But what else can you do with it? That is why I thought to myself, we should have a car that should be customized, similar like the Mustang that, as I've said earlier, put into a Benny's shop and make it called the Vapid Bullet Custom, where you can have a customized front bumper, as typical, a customized rear bumper if you want to, maybe even a customized body kit, if Rockstar wants to give it to you just like that. Or if you don't want like a customized body kit and you want to make your own custom, look to it, sure, give it a custom front, give it a custom rear, give it whatever you want. Even the side panels, even the side skirts, give it a spoiler, give it a type of hood if you wanted to, similar to like what's already traditional on the Vapid Bullet or like on the Ford GT itself. Maybe even give it a spoiler. Something that Rockstar has not done with a Vapid Bullet that should be done in a future GT Online DLC update to make it upgradable in Benny's, to be called the Vapid Bullet Custom, where we already know the current Vapid Bullet in GT Online already costs close to $200,000, maybe $300,000. I forgot. It's been a while since I bought it. It's up in the $100,000s. Maybe even if it's $100,000, it's it depends. So maybe if you want to customize it, it should be around $590,000 to like upgrade it to a custom bullet, to give it custom body parts that you can just plop onto the car. Even if you want to remove the bumpers and whatnot, that's literally everyone's favorite thing to do because, weight reduction matters in this game, even though Rockstar has not yet discovered that removing parts gives weight reduction because of Rockstar programming. But still, besides that point, this car, I've always been driving the Vapid Bullet, and it discourages me to drive it any longer than 5 minutes because, great, you spin out, you have minimum traction control, and you're just like, alright, now what if I want to give it a sport? Oh, wait. It doesn't exist. Literally, as much as you can do now, there is so much opportunity this car has that Rockstar Games is just ignoring it. And it's so sad that this car isn't getting the recognition it deserves. Not as much as the Mustang, because they got so much different recognition that it's even set as a vehicle for Arena War, but that's besides the point. Yeah, this car, please Rockstar, please, give it the recognition it needs. Another car that came to mind. You already know how many Inventaro Coquettes exist in GT Online. You already know how recently they released the 2020 version of the Coquette D10, or what is called the Corvette C8. It's the newer Corvette model. I mean, I'm happy with it, but it isn't close enough to the Corvette C6, in which this car, on its own, is a badass. This car needs to be added in the GT Online, so I can at least have something that sounds close to a Corvette that already exists in GT Online, which is, I respect the sound as much as Rockstar doesn't want to like copy off of other vehicles that already exist. Okay, great, I respect that. But anything similar to having the iconic front and rear, where it's the dual rear lights on both ends of the rear side of the Corvette. That is something I am looking forward to for Rockstar to release. And if they ever decided to release it, the only best name I could ever come up with would be an Inventario Coquette D6S, to stand for the 6th generation. Of course, nothing similar to like D10, which is the 8th generation. I don't know why they gave it a 10. But to give it the S would either classify it as a supercar or a sports car, depending on what Rockstar wishes to release it as. It is just a car that is waiting to release, just waiting to come out of its grave of being one of the vehicles that only anyone drives nowadays in GTA Online. Even the Coquette D10 that already exists doesn't have as much recognition. It's mostly because of the amount of times it can spin out. It's ridiculous. That's, of course, Rockstar's failure to programming, but that's besides the point. This car. I know how much I love Corvettes, as much as I love Mustang, not as much as I love 4GT, but that still needs recognition, please. But this car is literally a bat out of hell that is just waiting to be released into the game. Please, Rockstar, give a Coquette that looks similar to the C6, that could have customizable front bumpers, customizable rear bumpers, customizable skirts, even as much as giving a unique window livery to have it marked on the top of the windshield. Great, I would love that too. Have unique spoilers that exist to give, the significant shape to the Corvette itself. Please, Rockstar, I'm begging for this car to release. As much as the other cars I've already mentioned, please, something. Now, fun fact about this next car that I've wished Rockstar to release in GTA Online. I had a dream last night, as much as I can remember, that the car was called the way it was called in my dream. It wasn't the best name, so I'm still gonna put it out anyways, what I had as a memory of it. But it was still a cool vehicle that I'm pretty sure a lot of people would buy on GTA Online. Especially that it could be a super close resemblance to everyone's one of the most favorite speedrunners out there in the world, who speedruns Need for Speed Most Wanted. If you guys know Crew HS, he's a speedrunner for Need for Speed Most Wanted who does fancy glitches and whatnot to make his Volkswagen look like it's faster than a pros competition, Lotus Ellis or whatnot. But it's a Volkswagen. What do you want out of it? It's a mom's soccer car, Anyways, so I'm gonna shout out that guy. He's cool. He's a cool speedrunner. So I may have already said it or not, but yeah, the Volkswagen Golf GTI is a car that I seriously would not mind having in GTA Online, so I can finally replace the Dinka Blista that is inside of my office, that is only similarly as close to the Golf GTI coming to GTA Online standards, but is still nowhere near the way this car looks. I had a dream where literally as soon as I bought this car, I had half the session's worth of people just stop modding, which is once in a lifetime, holy crap, just because everyone started driving this vehicle in black paint. Sometimes someone was in yellow paint, someone was in red paint, someone was even in the iconic Sonny's livery from Need for Speed Most Wanted, but this vehicle needs recognition and it needs to be released into GTA Online. Now some may be questioning me, what name did I really have for this vehicle? Now at first the company name, in the game of course, within the company name in the game, was initially Dinka. But then I thought to myself, what is Dinka based off of? And some thought it could be off of Toyota. Some thought it could be off of another car logo. Don't judge me. I was just looking off the wiki. I know it could be off something else. I don't know. whatever exists out there. Mostly because of the Supra that exists. That's why it's called Dinka, whatever, Jester, and whatnot. But still, one thing that came to mind for this car is to be called a BF wagon. Just to give a similar iconic name to practically the only vehicle everyone only ever recognizes out of Volkswagen. I bet you if you ask anyone around the world, a majority of them would think about a car like this. Unless you're asking elder people, which then they would refer to the Beetle, which honestly is still a good car. It's still cool for Volkswagen. I don't mind. It's really old. It's still cool though. It's respectable. But a lot of punks, especially down in their late 10s, early 20s ages, every time you speak to them about Volkswagen, first thing that's gonna come to mind is a Golf. I can only bet you that. And it's because everyone loves to go in their Golf, sit back in their seat, probably turn to hatchback if they wanted to, like a wannabe hatchback, pretend that the roof is gone or whatnot, and then suddenly you hear them revving their engine, it goes like, nah, and that's it, they freaking take off at you. You're just like, oh look, it's a Beetle that's blocking the road. Oh wait, no, it's actually going faster than a Honda Civic that it just passed on that red light there. Oh. Yeah. Besides that, this car definitely needs to have recognition. To release anything that could sound similar to the Dinka Blista, I'd be happy with. If this car ever released in GT Online. Now there's already an Obey iWagon that exists in GT Online. But there's other vehicles that exist in GT Online that could be confused between one another, such as the Akuma and the Akula, in which one of them is a bike that literally has nothing special in it, and the other one is an attack helicopter. Imagine the similarity that people can get so confused with. Oh dear. Of course, with anything similar to upgrade to this vehicle as the other vehicles that I've mentioned before, surely it should have anything that can be done similarly to make at least an average replica, but not direct off of Sonny's Volkswagen from Need for Speed Most Wanted. Just like the Mustang from Razor's Mustang in Need for Speed Most Wanted, or any other vehicle that exists. Sure, great. Especially the Ford GT. You want to have a Ford GT that could be at least based off of Nicky's Ford GT from Need for Speed Carbon. That I wouldn't mind either. I would not mind that. It would be cool to have a similarly looking Nicky's vehicle driving around pretending to be a drafter, drafting random drivers behind you. That would be so cool. But at the same time, it's Rockstar. I doubt they're going to be as undisappointing as that, because Rockstar. This car. Back to this car, though. With modifications that includes the front bumper, rear bumper, spoiler, side skirts, window tinting especially livery. This car should be based off of a livery special vehicle. Whatever front rear bumpers they add, so what? They might add like a traditional sports type. That's okay. I wouldn't be too disappointed, but at the same time I should, because Rockstar Games. But there should be liveries that exist for this vehicle. At least maybe 11, 12, maybe 15 of them, just to like give it a iconic look, especially a spoiler just somewhere on the top, just to give it like a rear wing somewhere back there, just to give it a little more downforce that it especially needs. I wouldn't mind. This car needs to come out in GT Online. I wouldn't mind that. Now finally, for the last fifth car that came to mind, that I would literally beg Rockstar to please release. Release. Just please. It's like the car's literally asking for it. Finally, let's just get into it, okay? Because I'm sure this car has yet, just wanting to come out, okay? We all know how much we love the BMW M3 from Need for Speed Most Wanted. Some may be like, oh, this car is so underrated or so overrated. No, some people especially would say it's overrated because, oh, everyone's just playing a game just for the BMW, just to do nothing with it and blah, blah, blah. And everyone's just so hyped about it. At the same time, they're like, yeah, we're hyped for it, even though we don't really... it's mixed. It's like mixed feelings. Of course, there's me, who especially would want this car IRL if I wanted to. It's just, it's who wouldn't? The only car that is anywhere similar looking, just on average, that I've ever brought close to in this vehicle was the Karen Sultan RS. Now we all know Karen and Ubermatt are both two different logos of GT Online's vehicles, where Ubermatt is especially for BMW, and Karen is especially for whatever other logo that exists. I even care that much about. Okay, I just checked now. Karen's based off of Toyota Subaru based vehicles. Okay, great, I guess. That kind of makes sense, maybe. I don't know. Still, this vehicle, whether if I want it to be called a Karen or whether what I want it to be called an Ubermatt, and one thing's for sure, to give it the iconic name that it sure as hope deserves, I decided the best it should be called would be somewhere near an Ubermatt Sentinel GTS. Especially that it would have 3 letters and would be near being called a GTR, but like as other vehicles that exist in GT Online, some of them have really similar names, like the RT3000 for the Honda S2000, or similar like that, similar like that. But this vehicle, if it ever did release in GT Online, that vehicle especially, I would be very disappointed if they released this vehicle without the iconic modifications you can get out of the M3 GTR in Need for Speed Most Wanted. I would be disappointed if they didn't do that. So if they did it, they better bring everything together as a whole pack, assuming they have the copyright rights that they won't have to sign and pay for. Otherwise, we all know if Rockstar has to sign yet another paper for copyrights to say, oh hey, I want to use permission to use a model similar to your vehicle. They would have to start leeching out more money out of people, despite making $2.5 million a day. Wow. What thieves. Stealing our time and money for nothing beneficial. Anyways, this car is the icon that I just would pray to be released, and so I can finally have something faster than the Sultan RS that I have now in GT Online, which is one of the top 10 slowest supercars in the game. I would so hope that when this car releases, it'll be, no matter what, within the top 10 range. No matter, regardless of whatever performance exists. Even if its speed would be like so fast and its handling would be meh, I wouldn't mind, because traditionally the BMW M3 in Need for Speed always accelerated so fast within such short time, but its handling was so unique that it would grip, but then it would slow down. Yeah. That's yeah. Still, this car, I would pray, Rockstar, please, release it! Release it! So those are the 5 vehicles that I personally wish Rockstar Games to release in GT Online, at least with similar names to that. I wouldn't mind if they used those names or changed it up, as long as we have those vehicles released anytime soon in GT Online. So if you guys have any other vehicles that you wish to be released in the GT Online, anything similar to any other vehicle that exists, please don't bring up Honda Civic. I'm joking. If you want to, I'll still shout it out. Fine, whatever. But if you guys have any other cars that exist that you want in GT Online, do let me know in the comments down below. I will look forward to making another upload if I have enough, fans, people letting me know about things like this. I wouldn't mind. But anyways, those are 5 cars that I personally wish Rockstar Games to release in GTA Online. If you enjoyed this video, please do leave a like and subscribe. And stay tuned for more content that I have yet to release on YouTube. And, of course, as always, thank you guys so much for watching. And I'll see you all on the next upload, video, etc. Stay tuned for that. Enjoy, peace out, and have fun.